Hello, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So last week I did a poll on LinkedIn, and I was asking people that if you have Ansible and then Python, which one will you choose? And that's the pool over there. People chose Python, others too chose Ansible. Well, for me, I think Ansible is underrated when it comes to automating networks. Ansible is very powerful. Ansible is built on Python, and it can do most of what Python can do. I'm a Python fanatic, but then although Python is flexible when it comes to automating networks, but I also prefer people to start from Ansible because Ansible gives you the basics of network automation. It gives you a broader perspective of how automation works when it comes to automating networks. So, right in this video, I'm going to show you how I automated the full MPLS lab with zero touch configuration. The only configuration which was on the notes were SSH so that I can connect remotely to the device. So stick with me and I'm going to show you how it's done. Thanks.
Okay, so this is my MPLS lab. I have four nodes acting as the MPLS core, and I have these two Cisco IOSV routers acting as the PE. So going forward, I want to show you that there's no configuration on the switch. So show IP interface brief. There's no interface. So there's no IP. The only IP that you see here is configured for management. That's where I'm going to push my automated configurations through. So it's on the same subnet as my automation controller. Okay, so show IP protocols shows me that there is no configuration on this P1 switch. So the whole idea of the design is P1 is going to act as a route reflector. So the BGP adjacency will be from P1 to P1, P2 to P1, and then we are going to use OSPF as our IGP over here. So once again, let me show you that there's no configuration on the nodes. Show IP interface brief shows me that there is only one IP. So, okay, so the loopback interface is still there. I think when I was testing the script, so let me default the interface. Let me configure same on P2. Show IP interface brief. Yeah, config T. Port interface. Okay, so show IP protocols shows me that there is no IP protocol configured on these nodes. Show IP protocols. So there's no configuration on these nodes. So let's have a look at my controller. My controller is my Kali machine over here, and as you can see, everything is all set. This is my Ansible folder. It contains all the scripts for my automation. So this is P1. Let me go through quickly. First, we configure a loopback interface, and then we configure IP addresses on fast Ethernet 0001 and then 10. And then we also enable MPLS globally, and then we also enable MPLS on the various interfaces. And also we are going to enable OSPF on these routers, sorry, these networks on the router to have adjacencies with the core. Okay, and then what else? I will enable multi-protocol BGP because it's the route reflector. So this is P2, same configuration over here, but then it has no multi-protocol BGP configuration. So it's the same as P1 with the exception of the multi-protocol BGP. Same applies to P4. and then we have P1. So P1 has this simple configuration similar to P1 and the rest, but then we have multi-protocol BGP on P1, and then we also do redistribution, and same on P2, redistribution, and then multi-protocol BGP, right? Okay, so let me show you. These are some scripts that I'm going to use to configure the multi-protocol BGP. And as you can see, we're going to set a route reflector client to 555, which is P1, and then 666, which is P2. And we also do redistribution. I think that the redistribution will go on P1. Yes, of course, over here. So same applies to P2. So without wasting much time, let me open my terminal. What I'm going to do is, so as you can see, I was doing the testing and it worked so well. We are going to do multitasking. So I'm going to split the screen vertically. Okay, so let's try to ping the nodes and see if it will work. So ping P1, P1 is working. So ping P2, P2 is working. Ping P3, P3 is working. P4, and then P1, and then P2. Okay, so I'm going to start the configuration. I'll clear the screen. So Ansible playbook p1.yml. As I said, I'm going to do multitasking. And then as I execute the script, and just pay attention to what the script is doing. The script will just tell you what it's doing at every stage in the configuration file. Okay, so let's get ready. and for P2, sorry. So we can check if we have some interfaces configured. Show IP interface brief. And as you can see, we have some interface IP address configured. As you can see, OSPF is up with P1. So show IP protocols. And as you can see, we have OSPF1 running for these networks. Now P1 is done. So let's check. As you can see, MPLS interface is up. Show IP interface brief. As you can see, our interfaces are up and being configured. Show IP protocols. So I expect to see OSPF and BGP, and as you can see, we have BGP. Right, so now it's now time to configure P3 and P4. So let me clear the terminal. Okay, so P3 and P4. Let's go. Okay, so just pay attention, and Ansible will tell you whatever it's doing. Here we go. Okay, so as you can see, we are done with P3 and P4. We can look out for some interfaces already. MPLS LDB is up. So IP interface brief. As you can see, OSPF2 is up. So we have some interfaces. Show IP protocol. And as you can see, OSPF is running because it's not going to run BGP. And same applies to P4. Show IP interface brief. We have our IPs, show IP protocols. So it's now a good time to see our OSPF database or adjacencies. So show IP adjacency. Okay, so database. And as you can see, I 1.1 is P1, is P2, P3, and P4 itself because it's advertising the loopback interface. Okay, so let's see on P3, show IP OSPF database. And as you can see, same thing applies over here. So show IP OSPF neighbors. And as you can see, we have a neighbor adjacency with 1.1, which is P1, and then 4.4, which is P4, because they are directly connected to P3. All right, so it's now time to touch on P1 and P2. So back to my automation controller. I'll clear the screen. And Ansible playbook, P1, Ansible playbook, P2. So get ready and let's go. And once again, Ansible is going to explain to you whatever it's doing. Okay, and as you can see, PE2 is done. So once PE1 is done, yeah, PE1 is done too. So now what we should expect is that we should be able to receive inter-area prefixes throughout over the MPLS, the backbone. So as you can see, PE1 is here, and BGP is up, OSPF is up. That's OSPF process 2. And I think process 1 should be somewhere here. Yes. So now show IP route OSPF. So as you can see, this is our OSPF length route. So show IP route VRF UOG. And as you can see, these are prefixes from site 2 here. So show IP interface brief. So as you can see, we have sorry. Okay, that was on PE2. So show IP interface brief. So this is CE1, and this is our loopback interface. So this is CE2. So show IP interfaces brief. And as you can see, this is a loopback on site 2, and it has been learned through BGP on R1. So show IP route, and as you can see, 2020.20 has been received over as an inter-area route over the MPLS backbone. So what can we do? Of course, let's ping, and let me debug IP ICMP packet. Okay, so on R1, which is CU1, I'm going to ping 20.20.20, and as you can see, it's going through. And as you can see, the debug echo reply sent source. This is the loopback interface, and this is a destination. 172.16.16.2 is the IP address or the gateway for CA1. So as you can see, show IP interface brief. So this is 16. Oh, sorry. Show IP interface brief. 16.16.16.2, and as you can see, a destination over here. So a ping from this side works. So let me also try the reverse debug IP ICMP. So in the routing table of R2, we should be able to see the prefixes learned from site 1, and as you can see, it's being received as a inter-area route. So ping 10.10.10.10, and let's check the debug. And as you can see, the source is the loopback interface on CA1, and it's pointing to 14.14.2. So where is 14.14.14.2? And as you can see, is the gateway or the interface pointing to the MPLS P router. Sorry. So thanks for watching this video. I'm really grateful. Automation is fun. I don't know how you could be able to do this within this short period, and trust me, Ansible is as powerful as Python. All you need to know is to get yourself comfortable with the syntaxes, which is predefined by Ansible when you check the Ansible docs. So thanks for watching this video. I'm really grateful. Bye bye.